Okay, welcome to the CadCam 124 exercise companion video. CadCam is available on Google Classroom as well. The downside to the creator of CadCam is that he is from India, so he has a very thick and broken accent when he does speak in English. He does very well. The nice thing about CadCam tutorials is that he goes through everything very straightforward in SolidWorks and makes it very easy to use. However, he goes very, very fast, so I'm going to slow us down a little bit and go through how to actually create this part right here. Now, I have no idea what this thing actually does. If I was to go ahead and make some type of a supposition, this some type of a round fixture that goes through here, you got clamp ends here, and some type of extra hinge right here. We're not going to get through all of this today. The first thing we are going to do is come up with the STL file of just this part. So we got the main structure and then one of these lobes. Everything else is pretty much mirrored and copied. So let's get to this. I'm going to close that out. And let's move on to the next phase. Okay, so now that you have logged on the computer, the first thing you need to do is get your new thumb drive that I just gave you. This is for periods 1 and 7. And plug it into the computer. That is the first thing you do every single time. So here is the thumb drive. You notice that it has my last name. Thinking, okay, how do I change the name? So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and right click. You're going to go to rename. And you're going to rename it. Use your last name. And then hit the enter key. And it'll change it. Second thing you need to do is come up here and hit new folder. And create a folder called CadCam 124. That's where all the files that you're going to create in SolidWorks is going to go. There's only going to be 2. You got your SLD PRT file, which is your SolidWorks parts file that you can edit from one day to the next, and the STL file, which is the finished product itself. All right, now once you've got that done, you're going to need to open up SolidWorks. Okay, go ahead and open up SolidWorks if you haven't already done so. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and open up the video for CadCam 124. Go ahead and watch that for a little bit before you start this part, so you can go ahead and pause this. Go ahead and open up CadCam 124 and see what it's like. I'll wait. Okay, now that you're back, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start a part. So I'm going to go here, come up here to home. Go ahead and start that. And I'm going to go ahead and start a part. We're going to be using the measurement scale MMGS. As you can see in the lower left-hand corner of my window, I am on IPS. For some reason, mine always defaults to IPS. Some people default to MMGS. So just make sure everybody's on MMGS. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin our first extrusion. We're going to start off with the front plane. Now, when you are actually doing anything in SolidWorks, you need to have a flat surface. Once you do that, you open up a sketch and we start drawing, and then we do a 3D thing. So here's our sketch. Here's our features. These are the 2 tabs that we use all the time, every day in SolidWorks. And these are the 2 tabs here that we use right here in the Features Manager. Just to show you, there's nothing here in the Properties because we haven't selected a tool yet. So I'm going to come over here to Front Plane. Everybody always asks, why do we always select the front plane? The front plane is in relation to the flat surface on the 3D printer. So I can either right or left click it, doesn't matter. I'm just going to go ahead and left click. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit this button here, which is going to open up the sketch. And now all the sketch tools are now open. I need 2 concentric circles centered on the origin. What's concentric? That means they share the same center. I'm going to come over here, draw a big one, about like that, and then draw a smaller one, about like that. I'm going to go to select, and that cuts me out of the actual part. Now, make it really easy. CadCam Tutorials goes through a couple of different things. He's using an older version for this. We're going to use the newer version, and I'm going to go ahead and select this. I'm going to select the diameter at 80 millimeters. That gives me a radius of 40. You think, well, what's the difference? I'm glad you asked that question. Now we're going to go to 50 here for the inner circle. I'm glad you asked that. Right here, you see the little circle with the slash? That is diameter. If you have a number and it's related to a partial circle, you might see an R right there. That is radius. I'll go ahead and close the dimension. Now I need to go ahead and add the line. Now, this first part is not really that difficult. Over here, that is the horizontal line right there. That is actually the x-axis all the way across through the center. Now, it is connected. It's going to want to do a chain. I'm going to go ahead and hit select, and that's going to break the chain. Now, I need just this circle, this little B line, this little B line, these two arcs, and this center part can go. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Trim Entities. I can do Power Trim or I can do Trim to Closest. I'm going to try Power Trim because it's kind of fun. Now, to do Power Trim, I need to click and hold, and I'll draw a line. So whatever I touch with this will erase automatically. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So there's our two arcs and our two small lines. That's it. Thinking that's it? That's it. Now, once I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and go to Features, Extrude Boss Base. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead and do a mid-plane extrusion. Change that to 80 millimeters. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and click this. And there is our first extrusion. Now, I'm going to come over here, click on this surface, and I'm going to open a sketch. Now, your system probably automatically lined everything up. Mine doesn't do that, so I have to hit this button called Normal. Now, what I'm going to do, just like what our author did in CadCam, is I'm going to have to add a y-axis and an x-axis. I'm not going to use the entire axis, just part of it. So I'm going to use something called center line. Center line is simply that. It's an invisible marker line. So I'm going to go above the arc, find that little midpoint that you just saw, around that little arc right there. Come down here to the origin and click, and you can see the chain is still going. Come out here about that far. Go to select. And now I've got this and this. So this is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. You're like, uh-oh, you're being mathematical. Yes, I am. I'm going to go ahead and come over here to this delta and make sure that I have corner rectangle. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the corner rectangle. Come down here below the y-axis. Click, drag, and then click again. Go to select to shut that off. Now I've got this little mess. Now there's a lot of things we can do to get symmetrical between this line, and this line right here. One of the things we can do is use the selection tool, going from the lower right to the upper left, and make sure that it's green. Whatever it touches will automatically be selected. So I'm going to go ahead and select symmetric, and there it is. Now I'm trying to remember my dimensions here, and I don't remember them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit Smart Dimension from here. I think it's to here. Nope. Okay, so let's go ahead and click that off. Touch that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I found out. I'm going to go to Smart Dimension. Come over here. Smart Dimension. Thank you. Come over here to this line here, and that's going to be 80 millimeters. There. And from here to here, I believe it's going to be 10. Yep, there it is. Okay. Oop, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And that's going to be 60. There. Okay. Best laid plans of mice and men. Go ahead and get out of dimension. We'll go ahead and turn this to the side so you all can see it. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to Features, I'm going to do an extruded boss base. I'm going to go to blind. And you can see it's pointing down. Thinking, uh-oh, that's a problem. Not really. We have a button right here that we can click that will reverse it. But this is too thick, so we're going to go to 25 millimeters. And there it is. Hit the green check button. And that's it. Okay. And we're going to have to get rid of this thing, and that's in the next segment. Okay, in the CadCam 124 video, the author is talking about getting rid of this piece right here. It goes from this arc to here, and then the entire thing. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, and he did show us a brand new way of doing it using a new tool. The problem is when you come up here, he's looking for a particular tab, and you don't have it. So everybody starts freaking out. Well, this is how you find these tabs. You can go ahead and click on any, you just mouse over any one of these tabs and go to right click and come down here to tabs. You're looking for direct editing. And there it is. And now it shows up. The tab that we want is called delete face. So I'm going to go ahead and click on delete face. This little box is now selected and it's waiting for me to click some faces. So the first face I'm going to click is this face here. Then I'm going to go ahead and click this face. And you can see them over here, face 1 and face 2. I'm going to rotate this around and click the third face. I don't need to do anything else other than those 3 faces. Come over here, and it got rid of it. Isn't that cool? So that's direct editing and using delete face. Now what you can do, if you can't find this, is you can come up here, and you're looking for delete face, D-E-L-E-T-E. And there it is, right there. So you can always get to something. If you know the name of the tool, you'll be able to get to it up here in the search. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next thing, which is the hole wizard. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to knock off a couple of corners here and then drill a couple of holes. So let's knock off the corners first with a fillet. So fillet is going to be over here in the features tab, and that's a button right here. Now, what he does is that he goes over here and clicks on the corner, and then you can see this little sub menu opens up, and we have fillet. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. I thought that was pretty cool. One of the things you want to make sure is you have full preview clicked so you can see the yellow lines there. And he went to 20 millimeters for the radius. So that gives us 1, and we need to do the opposite corner. And as long as you've got these yellow lines, you are fine. And that's it. Now we're going to do the hole wizard, which is right here. Click the hole wizard. Okay, a few things. Number 1, we're going to select this particular hole right here. Come down here to ANSI metric. So select this and go to ANSI metric. We're going to be using drill sizes. Come over here. We're going to go to 10 millimeters, just like that. Through all. And that should be everything we need. Now, I get to go ahead and make my positions. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. In order for me to actually drop these positions, I have to click a face. So I'm going to click the face here, and you can see it's trying to draw. Let me go ahead and rotate it this way. I'm going to touch the edge, and now that I created that arc, you can see exactly where I want to put that hole, right there. Now we can go ahead and just do this as a regular, draw a circle, do a extruded cut all the way through, and no big deal. We'll have to actually use the measurements to create those spots, but this makes things a whole lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And poof, there are our 2 holes. Okay, so this right now is completed for the end of Friday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to File. I can either go from here, or I can come over here. I'm going to go to Save As. So file, you just hit file, go down to save as. Okay, last name, first name. You can see I've done this before. CC124. Now, once I go ahead and name this file, my last name, comma, first name, and make sure you use your last name, your first name. I'll go ahead and go to my thumb drive in a CadCam 124 and then hit save. Now that's the SLD PRT file. I need the STL file. So I'm going to come over here to File. I can go back over to the other side and do the same thing. Save as. Here's the name. That's where I just saved it to. So there's my little thumb drive. Here's my part. Click this. I'm going to go down here to STL. STL is a finished file. SLD PRT, I can go in there and edit as much as I want. If I need to make a 3D print, I want to click yes. And I want to click OK. Sometimes this one comes up, sometimes it doesn't. Just click OK. Okay, now that that is finished, what I'm going to do is pull my email over here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to compose, recipient, WRA. Oh, there, that's not the right one. That's the one I want. You want this one here at NISD.net, excuse me, CC124. Now I need to actually attach the file. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I like doing it this way. Go ahead and go back to our thumb drive all the way down here for me. And that's the file that I want. I'm going to drag over here to the email. Drop it right there. I'm going to go ahead and send. And there it is. So I will get a file that looks like this from you with your file that looks like this. That's how that works. Let me go ahead and get out of this. Okay, so that is the first part. The rest of this entire project we'll take care of in a day or two. Okay, so once you have emailed me your STL file, we are done for this particular part of the project until, let's see, today is Thursday, so that will be Monday. So we're going to be adding a bunch of stuff. So a lot of what we're going to be doing coming up is going to be nothing more than mirrors and a whole lot less of this kind of stuff. Good luck. If you got a question, let me know.